strength, dexterity, intelligence, and fate. The four builds lived in harmony, until one day, the Fire Nation attacked. Don't worry, we're gonna kick his ass. If you want to make a strength build, you want the Axe Talisman alongside the Spiked Crack Crystal tier, Braggart's Roar, and the Roar Medallion to go with it, all the while having the Highland Axe in your offhand. And, on top of all of that, you want Golden Vow and Howl of Shabriri. Now, just do a couple of charged attacks and everybody's gonna die. Okay, that's it. See ya.
You may rest here too, if you like.
Okay, let's take it one step at a time. Strength builds stand out because of the stagger potential. Not just that, but I would go as far as to say that strength builds can deal the most amount of damage with the least amount of setup necessary. I mean, literally, you can wield two of these bad boys. You do a jump attack, and everything just dies. Do you see Malakat over there? Of course you don't. He's fucking dead. Now, let us take a moment and talk about the jump attack build in more detail. In order to get started with this build, you are gonna want the Claw Talisman and the Raptor Feathers. Both of these items increase your jump attack damage. You can also wear something like the Omen Smirk mask for a bonus in strength. But if you are more concerned with your fashion, then just wear any helm item you want. Gauntlets and leg armor does not provide any buff or anything of the sort, so anything can go into that slot. If you want to go a step beyond this, I recommend also picking up things like Flame Grant Me Strength and the Golden Vow Ash of War. The spell version is better by quite a big margin, but you can put the Ash of War on a dagger or a short sword, and you don't need to worry about investing into any fate. Anyway, in regards to talismans, we have quite a lot to discuss here actually. Early on you desperately want the Red Gun Sword Seal. I mean, hey, it's 3 levels, okay? You cannot go wrong with that. Since we are doing a jump attack build, you also want the Claw Talisman, as previously mentioned. For the next 2 slots you have a lot more freedom. I really enjoy having the Turtle Talisman and the Star Scourge Heirloom. You might be wondering when should you swap out the Sword Seal. I personally take it off around level 60 to 70. I know it's pretty late, but that is generally the time at which I get to the Leyendal Sewers. And of course, I end up replacing it with none other than the Earth Tree Favor +1. The +0 version is not worth bothering with, in my honest opinion. Of course, you have some other options besides these. Can't forget things like the Dragon Crest Shield, the Ritual Sword and Shield Talisman, the Bullgoat Talisman, the various talismans that boost your elemental defenses, the Arsenal Charm, and so on. The bottom line is that you really only want the Claw Talisman by your side at all times. Everything else you can just swap to your heart's content. As for the physics setup, just use the Strength tier and the Stone Barb tier so you can break their stances more often. Now then, in terms of weapons, I'm gonna be completely honest here. I suggest you try out various things and see what you will end up liking the most. That said, in my most recent run, I went with a dual Colossal Sword setup. Look, as long as it's big and heavy, you're gonna have a good time. Just make sure you are actually using 2 weapons of the same type. Anyway, with that out of the way, let us talk about another build that I really enjoy. The Charged Attack build. This one is gonna be a little different, and I'm gonna be honest, I like it way more than the Jump Attack one. All because with this build, you can get the ball rolling way faster, with even less resources. So, let us start by grabbing the Spiked Crystal tier, and the Axe Talisman. I'm gonna be completely honest, just getting these 2 items and maybe adding a couple of buffs along the way, and you're gonna be golden for the rest of your playthrough. But if you want to go a step beyond, you also have the option to go for a Roar Medallion, a Highlander Axe in your offhand, and any Roar Ash of War on your main weapon. Combine all of this together and you're gonna be cutting through everything like butter. But let's take a moment and discuss buffs for a little bit. After all, they too deserve a moment in the spotlight for how useful they can be. Now, I kept mentioning Golden Vow and Flame Gremly Strength. Just picking these two is gonna be more than enough. But if you want to go a bit further, you can grab Bestial Vitality, Howl of Shibriri, and if you are worried about survivability, Black Flame's Protection. Now, when it comes to Ashes of War, we got quite a bit to talk about here as well. I want to start off by mentioning Oath of Vengeance, arguably one of the strongest skills in the entire game. If you want to min-max your build, you're gonna use this sword, just for the skill alone. You can always take it off after using the ability, you know? In terms of other buff-related Ashes of War, you can never go wrong with Cracked Blade and Royal Knight's Resolve. If you just want something that deals a lot of damage, Lion's Claw and Giant Hunt are the only two options I can recommend. You can obviously try out anything else you want, but it's gonna be hard to topple these two. Trust me, I tried so hard, and I got so far. Anyway, because I mentioned Giant Hunt, I think this is a good time to talk about a somewhat niche build, but one that I enjoy so much that I played through the game multiple times with it. Of course, it's gonna be about the Spear Talisman. I am gonna be as basic as possible when it comes to explaining how this thing works. If your weapon is capable of doing pierce damage, you will gain a damage increase. Now, imagine if you slap this on a claymore. You know, the infamous sword with the long reaching poke thanks to the charged attack. You know, the attack that also ends up getting boosted by the Axe Talisman. Do you see where I'm going with this? Yeah, that thing is just nuts, and I honestly do not see it talked about very often. But it is one of my personal favorites. I mean, fuck, I might even take this into the Shadow of the Earth tree, it's just really that good and reliable. Now, I should mention, this is not just for the claymore. Any weapon that does pierce damage benefits from this. I just really enjoy my claymore, okay? Don't judge me. Speaking of judging things, I want to briefly mention guard counters. I don't really enjoy this playstyle too much, because it's way too passive for me. But hey, if you want to do it, get a great shield, do a heavy attack after you block, rinse and repeat, everything is gonna die. Have fun. But anyway, I hope this has helped at least someone out there. And if not, I hope you at least had a somewhat good time watching it. In any case, I wish you an amazing summer ahead. The DLC is almost upon us, and don't forget to touch some grass until then. For now, I just want to say, I will see you again, soon. Take care everybody.
You may rest here too, if you like.